Okay, can you describe about yourself? Can you introduce about yourself?
Yes, my name's Ben Archer. I'm a teacher here in Cambridge, and I've been a teacher now for around about 17 years, 10 of which I've spent in Cambridge. I don't originally come from Cambridge, I come from a small town near Cambridge. It's about 45 minutes east of Cambridge. And I really enjoy teaching English. I like to see how students progress. That always brings a smile to my face when the slightest progress, if it's large or small, always brings a smile to my face. And in my free time, I enjoy traveling. I like going to different places. Very curious person. But I also like watching world cinema as well and enjoy reading as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Ben. And yeah, it's the question is, what do you think about drinking tea in Britain? Is it very popular as far as I know?
It's definitely a part of our culture, and it's very strange because um, tea doesn't originally come from England. It originally comes from the tea that we have here. Usually comes from India or from Kenya or from Sri Lanka. So I would consider it a national drink, but it's a strange national drink, being that it can't be grown here. So that's what I find a bit peculiar. But it's so much a part of our culture, even though times are changing now that more and more people are starting to drink coffee. Tea still plays a big part in our culture today, as in, for example, afternoon tea. Although not so many people do afternoon tea now, it's seen as a treat, it's seen as a special occasion to go out and have that. But also, I would say that tea, I would say, is called like a great healer. What I mean by that is that we use tea in any situation. So, for example, if you have a friend comes over and the friend has some bad news, then you have a cup of tea with them together. Or if it's good news, you have a cup of tea as well. If you have something to celebrate, you have a cup of tea with a friend. So it's used for every social situation in the UK. So every social situation always starts with a cup of tea.
Wow, that's very interesting. Yeah, as you mentioned earlier, that in terms of afternoon tea,
Mhm.
is it still popular, or you can compare between the past and today in terms of afternoon tea?
I think it's not as popular as it was in the past. I think in the past more people had it, but also I think as well that that in the past it was more people who could afford it who had afternoon tea. So it would be people who were middle class or upper class who would usually have afternoon tea. But now I think a lot of more people have it now than before. Although I would say it's not as popular as it is then as it was now. People would have afternoon tea on usually a special occasion, or it'll be as a treat really to go out and have afternoon
Hmm.
tea. And you still see some tea rooms, so places where they traditionally had afternoon tea, you still see them around. A lot of them closed down, which is a shame, but a few of them have started to open up again. People are starting to rediscover it
Mm.
as well. And I think I've kind of like rediscovered it as such through my students, because my students ask about it, and it always I always think, oh, I need to find out a bit more about it, and that's what I do. I usually find a little bit more about it, but it's reignited my interest in
Mhm.
afternoon tea as well, and I've started taking students out and also taking friends out for afternoon tea as well. So it's started to become, as I said, start to become more interested in it thanks to my students.
Wow, it's yeah. So, for you personally, Which one do you prefer, coffee or tea?
Definitely tea.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of coffee, and it's really strange because a lot of people my age and younger probably now drink more coffee than tea. Yet, yeah, I still really like tea. I drink all sorts of tea really. I will drink what we call builder's tea. Builder's tea is the normal strong tea that we have, and I like English breakfast tea as well. Although I would only drink that now and again, I would tend to drink more herbal tea, so such as chamomile tea and peppermint tea.
Oh.
And I think I find that whenever when I return back from abroad to the UK, how much tea, the varieties of tea that you can find in the UK is just absolutely amazing. But yeah, I'm definitely a tea person. I would drink it every day, but
Okay.
mainly herbal tea I would drink. But now and again, I do definitely like a builder's tea or an English breakfast tea.
Okay, thank you very much. Last question. It's
Yeah.
just a short answer. So, do you agree that a statement that say British people are crazy about tea?
Um, I mean, yeah, I think times have changed now. I would say um, it's still a part of our culture. I probably wouldn't say it as we don't drink it as much as we used to. I think coffee has become more popular, as I said before, mostly with the younger generation, but it still plays an important part in our culture. I mean, to the fact that we've even got idioms involving tea. For example, if we don't like something, we say, "Isn't my cup of tea," for
Oh,
example.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And if you say that you will not do anything, we say, "I will not do it for all the tea in China." So we do. It's still part of our culture, although when it comes to drinking it, I think it's less so now. But I mean, my grandparents still drink it, and their generation still drink it a lot. But I think it's something that we shouldn't lose. Really, it would be an absolute shame if we did, because as I said, it plays in such an important part in
Yeah.
our culture. Even though we probably don't drink it as much as we did than we do now. We, it still plays an important part of the culture.
Okay, thank you very much, Ben, for your
That's okay.
time.
You're
It's very
welcome.
pleasure to conduct interview with you.
Thank you.